Welcome to the Silver and Black Show, and this week's overview brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Jim and I get you ready as the Raiders are back on the road to face the Indianapolis Colts. I sit down with rookie punter A.J. Cole, and head coach John Gruden joins Chris Townsend in studio to break down how the Colts deploy their two tight ends. All that and more on the Silver and Black Show, starting right now.
Here comes the blitz man. He unloads and it's picked off for right in the hands of Dorsett. And Dorsett goes 39 yards for the touchdown. The crowd on its feet. Gannon for the end zone. Caught at the one, out of bounds at the 1-inch line, Timmy Brown. And congratulations all around on the Raiders sideline. They will go to 4-1.
The Raiders' road trip continues. Next stop, Indy, to take on the Jacoby Brissett-led Colts. Welcome to the Silver and Black Show. I'm your host, Nicole Zaloumis, alongside our two-time Super Bowl champion, Jim Plunkett. Jim, it still feels weird saying that Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback for the Colts. You're a Stanford guy. Andrew Luck surprises the world by announcing his retirement. How did you feel when you heard the news?
Well, I was certainly surprised. Andrew Luck is one of the finest people I know, and I've known him for a long time, since the Stanford days. And, you know, you hate to see a guy with so much ability, so much talent, call it quits early. And, I know he's been under a lot of not only pressure, but he's been injured, 3 or 4 of the last 4 years. I don't think he's finished a complete season in any of those years. And it's taken its toll on him. Obviously, physically, there's no question about that. But I think mentally, he can't perform as well as he normally might if we were a healthier quarterback out there. And I think it's worn him down quite a bit. And he made, I think, the best decision for him right now. And if that's how he feels, and that's what he should do, who knows? Maybe in a year or two, he might change his mind. Whether there'll still be a market for him, I don't know. But I hate to see it end early, but whatever is best for Andrew, that's what he should do.
Well, and it seems like Jacoby Brissett has stepped in and looks very comfortable in this offense right now.
He certainly is. They're 2-1. I watched some film on him. He's doing an excellent job finding the open receiver, using the tight ends quite a bit. And he's helped by a fairly staunch defensive unit and a good running game. So that's really helping him, perform the way he's performing right now.
Is this more a testament to Jacoby and his familiarity with the offense, or is this offensive line that good?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. He's used to the system. He knows what's going on. Not a whole lot of learning process going on. And the offensive line is doing a fine job. I watched the protection, and even under duress, he gets the ball off pretty accurately. And the running game obviously is a big plus for any quarterback. If you can run, play action, you've got a lot of things going for you offensively.
Let's focus on this run game because Marlon Mack is on pace for a career year. He's the strong back. He's going to get those extra yards. Right. What impresses you about him?
A lot of things. He finds the hole. He gets to it quickly. No chance for the defensive lineman to slide off the block and make the tackle. He's got 61 carries and 299 yards. He's averaging 4 yards a carry, which is incredible. He's third in the league in rushing, and those are a lot of positive things for this offense.
And Jim, this is going to be a difficult challenge this week because the Raiders linebackers are banged up.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's going to make the stopping the run game that much harder. Play action, they're going to want to fill the holes quickly. It's going to make it tougher on that defense overall. But hopefully the guys who fill in will do a more than credible job. Hopefully put pressure on the quarterback. Shut down the run game as much as they can. They've got some work to do. There's no question about it. But it's 4th game of the season. There's a lot of improvement to be made, and hopefully they can make some improvement, even though they're a little shorthanded.
Jim, we talked about the Colts running game. Now let's focus on our run game, because I know Josh Jacobs, we'd like to see a lot more from him.
Oh, there's no question about it. If we can get that running game going with Josh Jacobs, it'll take a lot of pressure off Derek Carr and the offensive line. Got to give him more carries. He's had very few carries in the last 2 games. We need to see more of him effectively run the football. And, that's up to the offensive lineman to get into it, make those blocks for him to find a crease to run through. And as I said, it'll make the whole offense run a lot smoother.
All right, Jim, we have to take a break here, but coming up, Chris Townsend sits down with head coach John Gruden to break down some film.
All right, Coach, back on the road taking on the Indianapolis Colts, and you're on a long road trip right now.
Yeah, we are. We're making some really interesting trips, but last week we didn't play a very good football game, unfortunately, against the Vikings. We didn't come out and really take control like you want to do on the road. And this week gives us another opportunity to show what kind of team we are.
Yeah, but the one guy who did show up was Waller, your tight end. He was pretty special, and we got some highlights of him in this game. And he's really, you think about what he's doing so far. He's been one of the best in football so far in 2019.
Well, in his first year as a starter, I'm really proud of what he's done. And I can say that a lot about all of our rookies. Josh Jacobs, Ingold, Hunter Renfrow, Foster Moreau. Here's a first-year starter, Darren Waller here, number 83 on the right side of your screen. Townie, he's not just doing it as a pass receiver. He had 13 catches. I mean, that's great, the statistical glory that comes with that. But here he is in maximum protection against Danielle Hunter, one of the best pass rushers in the league. And he blocked him twice, and then the next time we threw a little screen, and we fooled him this time. And you see Waller's speed and athleticism after the catch. He's got an unbelievable future here because of his versatility. We can line him up as a wide receiver, as we did here at the top of the screen. He played wide receiver at Georgia Tech in college, so he can run a full route tree as a wideout, and he's a lot bigger than you and I. He's like 6'5", 257 pounds, and he's a great kid. He's going to be one heck of a Raider.
And I could tell you, being on the sidelines, you can see the size difference. I mean, and he's kind of like a basketball player. He knows how to use his size.
Oh, he does. He's got a lot of instincts that are rare, hard to coach, hard to find. And it's his versatility, though, that's going to separate him in the coming years. He can block as a conventional tight end. He can do all the things that a slot receiver can do, the things a wide receiver can do, and he is just getting started. So we're really excited about his progress.
And you can really see through 2 games the communication that he has with Derek Carr.
No doubt. And for a young player, really it's a converted wide receiver. He's a great story in pro football right now.
And talking about tight ends, move on to the Colts. They got a couple good tight ends. You think about what they got with Doyle and Ebron, they got some good tight ends here.
And actually they use 3 at a time as they are here. 3 tight ends. The one thing the Colts can do is they can run the football. They've got a lot of first-round picks on this offensive line. They've been together now. They've got some continuity. Jacoby Brissett can turn around and hand the ball off to Mack, who's a very good runner. And it sets up some nasty play-action passes. And here you see Doyle, who's a jack of all trades. He can play fullback. He can play tight end. He's just a heck of a player, but it's the run action that really makes the Colts dangerous. If they can get the running game going, they have a ton of different play-action passes that Frank Reich and the Colts can dial up.
Yeah, so, I mean, you think about what you have with him. You have Ebron here that you're going to see. A lot of versatility, as we like to say, with the tight end group.
Well, Ebron's a Pro Bowler. Here he is on the wing. They run a shovel pass. Once again, a lot of run action. You get dirty eyes. You get bad eye control. A lot of eye candy there for these linebackers. And sometimes they take their eyes off of Eric Ebron. He scored double-digit touchdowns last year. They use these 2 tight ends creatively. And it's going to be a challenge for us on the road in Indiana.
One guy we got to know real well here in the Bay Area was Andrew Luck, and I know you got to know him. And the fact that Andrew's no longer going to play football and retired, that's a tough situation to go into a season right before, and you lose your quarterback.
No doubt. We lost a player before the season just like the Colts did. And it's a credit to Indianapolis for having the foresight to go out and get Jacoby Brissett. Remember, Andrew Luck was hurt. They needed Brissett to play and play well, and he did do that. But they have overcome a lot of adversity, and fortunately for them, they've got a very capable quarterback in Jacoby Brissett.
Well, back on the road this week against the Indianapolis Colts, and this is where you build your character, right on the road.
Well, this is what you have to do, and the schedule's not going to get any easier. The more complaining you do about it, the less you get done. So we got to concentrate on playing one game at a time, whether it's here or there or anywhere. We got to play better, and we got to coach better, and that's what we're set out to do.
Let's go get a victory, Coach.
You got it, Townie. Thanks, man.
A.J. Cole entered Raiders training camp this offseason with zero expectations of making the roster, and he left as the starting punter for the Silver and Black. The undrafted rookie out of NC State has impressed so far as he ranks in the top half of the league in most punting categories, and last week paired a 60-yard punt with 2 more inside the 20. This week, I sat down with A.J. to find out what has led to his early success. All right, A.J. Cole III, come on in. Welcome.
Thank you.
Our official meeting, Nicole Zaloumis. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
I
you.
do like the beard. It's working.
Thanks. Beards are in.
So wait, AJ Cole the third. There's
Yes.
2 before you. Does
Yes.
A and J stand for something, or it's just AJ?
It stands for Alfred James.
And being the third, I mean, some big shoes to live up to.
Yeah,
right?
it's a pretty big deal because my grandfather and my dad are pretty much legends. So got some big shoes to fill for sure.
All right, well, you're on your way because here you were an undrafted free agent out of NC State. You get a tryout at a rookie minicamp. You make the 53-man roster. Going in, were you at all surprised that you made the roster? Or were you always confident and knew that that was going to happen?
Oh, you saying like on the actual day of the
Yeah.
cuts? At that point, I was just like so past where I thought I was going to get in this whole process that I was just like, you know, win, lose, or draw, like I'm just happy to be here, really, in some ways, just because, I mean, going back even to high school, I didn't think I'd have the opportunity to play college football until really late in my high school career. And then in college, I didn't think I'd have an opportunity to play professionally until really late in my college career. I mean, like you said, I was a rookie minicamp tryout type guy, so, you know, my odds of making it are really, really slim. And so I can't control whether I make the team. I can't control if I'm here today or tomorrow. What I can control is how I live my life and the attitude I have showing up to work every day. And so I felt happy with the work I'd put in.
So now let's get to the first 3 weeks of the season. It was obviously a rough week 3 for the team, but you've been one of those bright spots. Take me through the first 3 weeks and your success.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, really. It's been such a cool experience just getting to go out there and play like real meaningful football. You know, my dad called me like the day after the Monday night game. He was just like, you know, did you play in an NFL game last night? I was like, yeah. He's like, I could have sworn that was a dream. Like, I can't believe we're really here, you know. So it's been really cool, and just being able to go out there and just get more and more comfortable, more confident. That's a big thing for me, just to be able to know that I can go out there and help put the defense in the best chance that they have to, you know, get the ball back.
You have a special bond and relationship with your dad. I saw that you guys take a selfie before every game.
Yeah.
What is behind that?
So we started doing the selfie. My senior year of high school, I played in like a Florida-Georgia All-Star game. So that was like January of my senior year. So we started doing it then, and we did all 52 games my college career.
Wow.
So I guess we've gone to 60 selfies now. We're up to 60. No, 61. Oh, because I played in the East-West Shrine games. So there was another one. So we're at 61 selfies we've taken consecutively before games.
So he flies in, what, a couple days before, day before?
Yeah, it depends. You know, like throughout college, there was a couple of close calls where he had to fly in like the day of the game for like a noon game, and there was like some close calls whether or not we were going to get the selfie. It's a pretty big deal. But yeah, he's made it every one, and depending on, you know, the game, he'll fly in a couple days before or the day of, whatever it is.
And I'm assuming he's going to be going to London and punching his passport?
Yeah, he's going to Indy, going to London. He's, I think he's like fully committed on the full season. We'll see, you know, if I'm still doing this a couple years down the road, we'll see. But I think he's fully invested in the 2019 season.
How about one of your coaches, Coach Bisaccia? What's it been like working with him?
Yeah, Coach Bisaccia is awesome. He's been around the game for a really long time. So he's seen, you know, everything. He's seen the highest of highs, winning the Super Bowl, and he's seen some lows and some seasons that didn't go so well. So he's being able to be a rookie under a coach that has that much experience is awesome, because no matter how the practice or the game went, he's got, you know, really good insight as to, okay, how do we go from here? If you have a good game, okay, how do we improve upon this and be better next week? If you have a bad game, how do we correct it, and how do we, you know, show up on Sunday and make an impact in a positive way next week? So being around him has been really, really beneficial, and it's been great to kind of learn from someone that's just been doing this for so long and been, you know, really successful as a special teams coordinator.
With all the coaches and the wealth of experience they have, you guys are in unprecedented territory right now because you're on this road trip for several weeks, which is not a favorable schedule to have. What advice have they given you, especially for the rookies?
Yeah, just take care of your body, get rest when you can, get all the sleep and recovery that you can do. I kind of like, I like road trips. I like flying. I think it's cool to just like get on the airplane, put your little neck pillow on, and just like, you know,
Well, and the team
sleep
plane is, you know, it's a little
it's
different.
Bougie. It's bougie because we got a seat next to us, so we're like.
Oh, so you don't see, when I flew with you guys during preseason, I had people next to me.
So
you get
like,
an extra?
all the players are in the back, so we have like if you're on the outside, it's like 2-4-2. So there'll be one guy on the outsides and two guys in the middle. So you got like an extra seat.
And movies.
Yeah, and movies.
And snacks.
Movies, snacks, ice cream bars, water, everything you could possibly need. It's great.
All right, so the London trip will be okay.
So I've actually made a trip across the pond like a bunch of times. Starting in my senior year of high school for spring break, I went to Kenya on a mission trip every year in spring break. So I did that 5 years in a row. So that's like an 8-hour flight to Europe and then an 8-hour flight down to Nakuru, Kenya. So like I'm super used to the
And you
long.
still do that trip, right?
Yeah, so I didn't get to do it this past year because it was like the week before my pro day. So I was just trying to focus on this. But yeah, that's something that I plan on continuing and going back as soon as I have the ability to.
When you're over there, I know you're working with children. What exactly are you doing? What's a daily routine for you?
So basically there's a school there called Mountain Park Academy. There's 800 kids there. About 100 or so of them are orphans that live on site. So what we do is we just go and we bring as much supplies as we can. We usually bring a doctor, a couple nurses, something like that. So we'll run a clinic during the day that obviously I'm very unqualified to participate in. So what I do is I hang out with the kids and we kind of use sport as an avenue of connection. So we'll go out and we'll play soccer, or we'll just sometimes one thing that I found that they find is fun is if I just kick the football like straight up in the air, they all just can kind of do that. So we'll play any kind of game, tag or whatever, and we get to know each other that way. And then we use that connections and we have a Bible study with them, and then we try and get to know the teachers because they have such an opportunity to impact them on a day-to-day basis. So we just try and serve the people in this best way we can, really.
And using this platform obviously helps. Is this something that you're going to continue to do for the rest of your life?
Yeah, definitely. It was weird. When I was in college, I kept getting these questions oh, are you going to keep going to do service or mission works as once you're done playing football? And I was always confused at that question because I was like, I don't understand what part of me playing football you think connects to me doing service. I consider myself to be a Christian first and someone who wants to serve others first, and a football player fourth or fifth or somewhere down the line. And football is what I do, it's not who I am. So I was always yeah, of course, I was going on these trips. I started going on these type of trips my freshman year of high school when I was the backup safety on JV. Yeah, I'm gonna still keep going.
So what are your goals now? Here you are having success through 3 weeks. You made the roster, you're a starter, you're wearing the silver and black. What are your goals this season?
I'm a pretty goal-oriented person. I like to write down my goals. But the weird thing about the punting position is it's so based on where we are on the field, and it's so game to game. I could say I want to have, a 45-yard average, or I want to have this, that, or the other. But if we go in the game and we only punt from the 42-yard line, 45-yard average is not possible. And if you kick the ball 42 yards, you've now, kicked a bunch of touchbacks, and that's not good for your defense. So my goal is to just show up on Sunday, be the best version of myself, physically and mentally, and try and put the defense in the best chance to win, try and be the best holder I possibly can for Daniel, and just be the best teammate I can be.
You don't want to ever get ahead of it, but we think he's very special. What he doesn't get enough credit for is he'll get a reverse kind of speed play. Then the next play he's blocking Hunter in pass protection. Then the next play he's running a slant on Trey Waynes. That you don't find those guys. They're not around. I think we all root for that guy and what he can do, especially with what we ask him to do. And Coach Gruden's offense, it's hard mentally, and we ask him to do a lot.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Show. One of the bright spots for the Raiders this season has been tight end Darren Waller. I'm not sure what our expectations were at the start of the season for him, but we can only hope that he can continue to produce at this level.
Well, he's certainly turned into a great target for Derek Carr. There's no question about it. He's 12th in the league in receptions, 3rd as a tight end. He's making things happen down the football field, not just the quick outs, the short crosses and everything else, but he's getting down up the field, because usually they have a linebacker, a strong safety who's not quite as fast as cornerbacks, having to cover him, and they just not compete with him. At one time he was a wide receiver, now he's a tight end, and the guy can really fly and catch the football, and he's been a big surprise for this Raider football team.
It does say something about a person's work ethic when you talk about all the receptions, all the catches he's had through 3 weeks, and he goes back to this week 3 third down drop.
Yeah, and you really think a lot about a guy who does something like that, puts himself down a little bit because he dropped a ball that he felt he should have normally caught. And I felt the same way when I played. Make a lot of completions, but the one you miss was the one that sticks in your craw, and you got to take off your hat to Darren Waller.
When you look at his history going from one position to another,
Right.
wide receiver to tight end, and now he's having the success he has, this isn't the first time that a Raider has made that transition.
No, it's not. And you go back and you look at Todd Christensen. He was a running back. Was, I think, drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. They let him go. The Raiders picked him up, and between Coach Flores and Mr. Al Davis, they decided the better position for him was tight end, and he turned into a phenomenal tight end. Played in 2 Super Bowls that I played in 81, 84, and he led the league in receptions. He had almost 100 receptions in one of those seasons. But he's a guy who could catch the ball. He just made the transition beautifully, and it was just hard to cover for any strong safety or linebacker. Couldn't do it.
For Waller, why is he more successful as a tight end than a wide receiver?
Maybe because of his size. He's covered by guys who are a little bit bigger, a little bit slower than a cornerback might be, sometimes by a linebacker. So it puts a lot of pressure on his defensive backs to be able to run with him, and they can't do it.
All right, Jim, that's going to do it for this edition of the Silver and Black Show. On behalf of Jim Plunkett, John Gruden, and Chris Townsend, and all of us here at Silver and Black Productions, thanks for watching, and go Raiders.
Hey Raider Nation, if you like that video, please hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss any of our exclusive content, behind the scenes footage, and more. Go Raiders.